Hello and welcome back to the first Freelancers Tea Break of 2020. This first one's going to be all about answering a few questions. So it's going to be a really nice, relaxed and casual one. In fact, I'm going to turn it into 2 episodes because I had quite a few questions. Now, if you're new to the podcast, here's a little introduction. So my name is Emma Cossey and I run the Freelance Lifestyle, which is a community coaching service and content hub for UK freelancers to find all the practical tips and tools you need to run your business. I'm really passionate about making freelancing accessible and taking the fear out of setting it up. That's the professional stuff. On the personal side, I live in Bracknell with my husband Peter and our son Oscar. I'm a card-carrying introvert, and my family joke that my catchphrase is, "Oh, I've got an app for that." So, introduction over. Let's dig into those questions. So the first question I had is, I feel like it's time to raise my rates. I feel fine doing it for future clients, but I don't know how to approach my current ones. I'm worried that they won't be able to afford my new prices. Now, this is a great question and one I hear often, especially at this time of year when a lot of freelancers are reviewing their prices. And now I do have a template for this in my Freelance Business Lounge, and I'm going to share a snippet now that you can use as inspiration when letting your clients know. So here's the snippet. I'm really enjoying working together and over the last year, and I'm looking forward to continuing that working relationship. At this time of year, I like to review my business and prices to check they're aligned with the market and reflect my skill set and experience. Following this review, my prices will be increasing from January 30th to XX, whatever amount you're going to do it to. I appreciate that there's never an ideal time for a price increase, so I wanted to give you some notice before the price rises. I'd also like to offer you a special offer. Now, this is where you can include a special offer that could be an incentive for them to book up more of your time or pre-book or prepay in advance. So it could be offering to keep the old price for 2 to 3 months if they pre-book and buy them in advance. Or it could be offering a small early payment discount if they pay within 2 days of being invoiced. So this is the double bonus of keeping them on board and speeding up any slow payers. Finally, if they can't afford your increase, negotiate how they can continue working with you but on a smaller workload. So for example, if you're a social media manager, you might want to suggest less hours monitoring, less social networks that you look after, or perhaps more input from them on the content creation side. So I hope that answers that question. There's definitely a way to do it, and actually, in the majority of cases, I've found that clients are absolutely fine with an increase as long as it's not a huge increase. So next question, do you have any tips for finding freelance clients in Facebook groups? I feel like I'm spending a lot of time in different groups and not getting much return. So there are a lot of Facebook group strategies out there, but honestly, the best way to be successful in a group is just to be genuine and helpful. Choose a handful of groups to focus on, maybe starting with 3, and spend time in there helping where you can, supporting the others, and share a customized promotion to the group only if that's allowed. So double check the rules or the pin post. It should tell you if they allow promotion and when and how. Now, I've seen a lot of things in Facebook groups that don't work. So the whole bait and switch where someone will come in, ask a question only to turn around and pitch to the respondents. So it might be something like they'll ask, "Oh, are you really struggling with your money at the moment?" And people will say yes. And then they'll say, "Oh, well, why not sign up for my webinar or my paid course?" It's just horrible. It's not genuine. It's really cheesy and tacky. They might go around just adding loads of people from groups. I hate that as well. Facebook is not the same as Instagram or even LinkedIn. You can't just add people willy-nilly. You need to develop some kind of relationship with people. And there's always the subtle promotion, like, "Oh, look at this win that I've done." And it's basically designed to just promote what they're doing. As a group admin, these techniques are so easy to spot, and they just come across as so ungenuine and not someone that I would want to work with, because it's very much a take attitude, not a give attitude. The people I love and recommend in these groups tend to be the ones that show up on regular threads. They support each other, they recommend other people, and they help others. They give as much as they take. So that would be my key thing, I think. Spend time in these groups, but only go for 3 at the start. Give as much as you take. Ideally, give more than you take. And just be helpful and supportive and just a really nice person, because The reality with freelancing is people like working with people that they like, and that's kind of a key part of it, really. The next question is how to do or be in a podcast. And this is kind of a question with two parts, really. So when it comes to creating a podcast, it can be as simple as grabbing your iPhone headphones and downloading the Anchor app. It's a really easy way to record on the app. You literally just hit record. I also use an app called Opinion, but I don't think that's working anymore. I think they've withdrawn that. But Anchor's really, really easy to use. And there are quite a few free platforms out there if you want to edit as well. And with Anchor as well, the great thing is that it will then upload it to all of your chosen platforms. So iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, all of those for you. You just have to register them first, which isn't as scary as it sounds. And I just started out with my iPhone headphones. I didn't start out with any expensive equipment. I now have a sort of a standing microphone, which I think was about £40, but I've seen them on Amazon. You can get really great quality ones specifically for podcasting from about £20-25. So you don't need to be spending a fortune on this. And actually, I still use Anchor on my desktop, on my laptop for recording. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say mine is the best quality. There's obviously studio recorded ones. But if you just want to get started, I'd say just start with those earphones and Anchor and just get started. The most important thing is that you are creating great content. That's more important than anything. You can have the perfect podcast sound, everything's flawless, but if what you're saying is boring, no one's going to care. In terms of being on a podcast, as in being a guest, I would suggest having a look at Kerry Watt's guide on this in the notes, as she has some great tips for landing podcast guest spots. My experience is I've found most guest opportunities in Facebook groups where there have either been a thread asking for them or someone mentioned their podcast with previous guests and that they're always looking for them. That's generally the best way I found it, or just interacting with people on Instagram. But definitely go have a look at Kerry Watt's one. I'll pop them in the notes. So the next question. As a writer, I'm wondering about other revenue branches, such as running webinars on how to pitch editors. So could this still be valuable to both audiences and to freelancers as another form of income? Or has the webinar era kind of run its course? Webinars are still very much an option, so don't worry about that. There are two basic kinds. There's free webinars that tend to upsell into a paid offering. So they tend to be kind of the ones where at the start there's a long introduction and then you'll get some great quality content and then there'll be like 20, 30 minutes at the end where they're selling you their product or service. Or there's paid webinars. Now, the great thing about a paid webinar, for those viewing, you might want to call them workshops instead, is that they know they're getting great content without having to sit through any of that kind of sales pitch or anything. So they know they're paying, and therefore the payoff is that they're getting great quality content without being sold to. So webinars are definitely an option and definitely worth trying. With Zoom now, they're so easy to set up. You just set up the Zoom link, and then you can even just start it with a PayPal link that you can just get people to sign up to. They get an email with a Zoom link, and then you can just record it and send them the recording. It's really simple to set up. So webinars are great. You can then turn that webinar into recording and sell it as a form of passive income or as an email opt-in. Or you can expand on it. What you're teaching could be turned into a mini course or a full course online using tools like Kajabi or Teachable. They're both really great for that kind of thing. There's loads of options, and over on the blog I've actually shared a few other ways you can earn extra income as a writer. I will again pop that in the notes for you, but you can self-publish a book on your chosen topic. And also, one thing that a lot of people don't realise is you can approach local colleges and universities and talk to them about doing a guest spot. And sometimes those are paid spots, or some of the local colleges, they would host a course for you if you wanted to do an in-person course. So have a look in the notes for that. So that's the first batch of questions answered. I'll be back next week with the second batch. If you have any questions you'd like answered, message me on Instagram, where you can find me at Emma Cossey, or drop me a message on the Facebook page, The Freelance Lifestyle. I hope you enjoyed this episode. To find out a little bit more about the Freelance Lifestyle, hop on over to freelancelifestyle.co.uk.